Hey, Patrick Coffin here. Now, this is hilarious. This is a selection from a now defunct publication that was formerly published by E. Michael Jones. Mike was my guest in episode 88 of the Patrick Coffin Show. You can see the link below. That was on the fascinating rise of the horror genre. Very interesting interview there. But this is called A Modern Seminarian's Dictionary. And I remember when this came out, I found it to be hilarious and insightful, and it's just become better over time. It's like, it's aged like fine wine. I shared some of this with the late Cardinal Archbishop of Toronto, Aloysius Ambrozic, when I lived there. And I thought he was going to fall off his chair. He just bowled over with this thing. This is from September 1987. I'll also put the link to the whole thing. It's pretty hilarious. Brother seminarians, are you troubled by the non-judgmental expectations of the seminary? Are you confused by their concerns? Fear not. Before your eyes, you have the key to ordination in this person's seminary. Add these terms to your theological lexicon, and believe me, you could be well on your way to ordination 1 or 2 years early. So here's some definitions in this lexicon, or this Seminarian's Dictionary, how to navigate your way through the seminary if you have your head on straight as an actual, serious, practicing Catholic. Pastoral means effeminate, an attribute lacking in a man who demonstrates overt masculine attributes of clarity, decisiveness, and orthodoxy, i.e. G.K. Chesterton was not pastoral. Rigid. Your view is not my view. Normally, the rigid person has a simplistic view of Catholic doctrine. See simplistic. For example, a rigid person holds that the ordination of women is not possible. A flexible person holds that to fail to ordain women is an example of sexism. Evelyn Waugh was rigid, the English writer. It's better to be narrow-minded than to have no mind, to hold limited and rigid principles than to have none at all. That is the danger which faces so many people today. To have no considered opinions on any subject, to put up with what is wasteful and harmful with the excuse that there's good in everything, which in most cases means an inability to distinguish good from bad, unquote. Vision, the quality of agreeing with me. Judgmental, a person who judges the sin but not the sinner. A non-judgmental person utters not a word on the morality of the usual sexual sins, but tries to determine where a person's at, so that the person's motives can be judged accordingly. A non-judgmental person judges the sinner, but not the sin. Simplistic, having to do with common sense. Growth, for you to assimilate my way of thinking into your life. Networking, allowing nuns to run parishes. You're not listening. The way a flexible, non-judgmental person expresses disappointment that a rigid, dogmatic person doesn't agree with him. For example, the Pope is not listening to the American Church. Remember, this is under John Paul II. Where are those tears coming from? The standard question to ask troubled or sick persons when you have nothing else to fill up the unnerving silence. Complex technological world. The reason for resisting one's conscience when opposing the teaching of the Catholic Church. Also, the standard response from a flexible person when a rigid person seems to be winning an argument. We're all sexual beings. The reason to overlook sexual misbehavior in seminaries. Celibacy. Refraining from heterosexual genital activity. Feeling. The highest faculty of the human person, left fully untouched by original sin. Love. A nice feeling. Original sin. See sexism. In touch with feelings. Using the intellect to explicitly identify what one is feeling so that speech patterns can be altered to communicate one's sensitivity and compassion, not to be confused with intellectualizing your feelings. Intellectualizing your feelings. Controlling one's temper. Humanae vitae. The biggest mistake the church has made since the Council of Trent. Now that's funny. Humankind. The human race free of sexism. Redefining the church. Defining the church according to the spirit of Vatican II. Church. Me. Bishop of Rome. The local ordinary of an obscure diocese in Italy. Fine, I'll just give you one more. We can't go back. An absolutely efficacious and disarming argument. There you have it. I'm Patrick Coffin. Check out the show, The Patrick Coffin Show, and stick around here. Subscribe below. Keep in touch on this YouTube channel. We've got fun, we've got frolic. I was going to say Seasons in the Sun, but that would be a moribund late 60s song. Bobby Jacks? We had joy, we had fun, anyway, it doesn't matter. Stick around. Lots to talk about, lots going on in the world and in the church, and I don't want you to miss a beat. So subscribe, and I'll keep in touch with you. Be a saint. What else is there?